name is Anne, and this is Toby. And welcome to a Tobyknits Podcast, episode 153. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Grab a cup of tea. You're going to need it. Oh yes, because today we're going to be talking about knitting, a bit of an obsession, crochet, cross stitch. So how have you all been the past 2 weeks? I've been having so much fun with a certain chicken and a certain mitered square obsession. But more about that later. So anyway, let's get started on the knitting. As you know, I've been doing the Gideon method to get my whips down because I've got a ton of whips. More than I thought I had. And a lot of them were blankets, actually, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think I had that really many, but a lot of them were from ages ago where I started, ditched them, because I get bored really quickly when I'm doing something. So as you know, I have a PDF that you can get if you go to my website, Tobyknits.com, and you will get, a pop-up will come up to get my newsletter. If you sign up for my weekly newsletter, you will get this PDF free. And this is one of the pages of the PDF. Basically, the first page is all about how the Gideon method works. The second page, you fill out all of the different categories with the whips that you have. Yeah, so you have to really dig deep under the bed, top of the wardrobe, wherever you're hiding them, because we know you've got some hiding. Yeah, you're just not knitting one project right now. No, you're not. I know. Then you write them all down and are horrified at how many you actually have. Then you pick 6 of them. And you put them down, you list them from 1 to 6. You pick how many hours you're going to work on each one, and then you will pick your first one up and work on it for 12 hours. If you finish it in them 12 hours, like I did the doll, great. If you don't finish it, you put it to the bottom of the pile and you pull up the next one and you keep going until they're all eventually finished. I love doing this. It's been so much fun. The first one I did was the socks, the mermaid socks, and I got as far, in the 12 hours, I got as far as the end of the gusset. I'm just at the end of the gusset with them. Then I worked on the doll, and I finished her. Now, admittedly, I just had to do the outfit, the dress, the hat, and the hair, and the face. The doll itself was all made and had been for ages and ages and was just lounging in the basement. So she's all finished now. I got her done in the 12 hours. So she's off my list. Now I'm only down to 5. Then I worked on my favorite blanket, which, as you know, is the Bakery Bears K. Jones, where we are dyeing 2 50-gram skeins each month. One's tonal, one's speckled, and then knitting it into a blanket. And it's a lovely, lovely project, but it got too hot for me to work on by June, because here in Canada, it gets so bloody hot and humid. There's no way I could have a blanket that's 80% merino, 20% angora on my lap. Not happening, thank you. Even with the air conditioning on, not happening. So I put it away. So now I have to get it out and finish off those 6 months worth of stripy colors. With the leftovers, okay, it's suggested we make a pillow or a cushion or something to go with our blanket. So this is the one of the new mitered squares I'm doing. So I had actually started this last year, and those were the first 2 colorways. And then these were the next 2. And it's so cool because when we're knitting it in the blanket, we're actually holding these 2 double and knitting them together. So it comes out totally different from what you're seeing here. So it's nice to actually do them as their own colors. And so I got these 2 and these 2 done in the last week, because I told you I have this mitered square obsession right now. So those came out. So this is all my own hand-dyed yarn. And then I decided that, you want to get up? Oh, I'm not playing ball. He brought his ball in. Okay, now go lay down. I'm not playing ball. Sorry about that. Yeah, so anyway, where was I? So I've started a new mitered square blanket, which I'll tell you about in a minute. We're getting off topic here. Then the next was the Pemberton Pullover, which is a sweater I started for Bob, I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Did the back, started the front, got bored. As I do. So, please get up here. This was number 4 on my rotation. And I'm loving it. So here is where I got to. If you can see that little marker here, that's where I was when I picked it up. This is the front, or gonna be the front. So that's as much as I've got done in the 12 hours from the marker all the way up to there. Isn't that a lovely pattern? And I'll show you what the back looks like. So here is the back. And I picked this because I thought it would be lovely because it has all these nice patterns and it would keep me occupied, and it did. I mean, I did work on this, but once I got to the front again and it was all just this plain, that's where I got bored. Put it down. So this way it's working because now I'm picking it up, working on it for so many hours, and then I put it down. So I'm loving that. Next on my list was meant to be the Geo Gradient shawl, but I didn't feel like doing that. No, because a certain chicken had come into my life. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the emotional support chicken, which has been raving all over YouTube right now and Ravelry, and I love my chicken. It's actually for Leo. I decided to make them for the kids for Easter. And I was going to get a little Easter basket, put some little eggs in the bottom and the chicken on the top, and that's going to be their Easter gift. It's very easy to make. I'll put a link to the pattern below. I can't remember the name of the lady who designed it, but she does have a YouTube video to show you how to put it together, because it's all short rows, and I love doing short rows. I really do. So it's all short rows. It's really, really nice to knit. And I literally made this in about 11 hours, actually. It wasn't even 12. So, yeah, I just love it. He's just so cute. So this is going to be for Leo. I'm currently going to, well, I've got the yarn to do one for Tristan, and his is going to be a darker brown and green, because we all know how much Tristan loves green. And Evie's is going to be the pink all the way, and either this brown or the other brown. I'm not sure yet, for her stripes. So they're all different from each other, so none of the kids get mixed up and start screaming at each other because they have their chickens. So I am loving my chicken. I really am. So there he is. Oh. So yeah, he was in place of the Geo Gradient shawl. Then I went to the Starlight blanket, which I actually got finished my 12 hours last night. So basically what I'm trying to say here is I can get all, or I have in January got all 6 of these through their 12-hour rotation in 1 month. How cool is that? So here's the Starlight blanket. This is an Attic 24 blanket. The pattern is free on her website, and there are 2 ways to do this. This came out, I don't know if it was November, I think. There are 2 ways to do it, and you can do it. There are 15 colors, so you can do the 15 stripes one after the other, like 2 rows per stripe, I think it is. That's the weirdest looking machine I've just seen going up my road. That was very weird. It has to be some kind of farm thing, but it was weird. If it had gone a bit slower, I'd have turned you around to look. So we started down here with these colors, and originally I thought we were doing 1 color per stripe, but apparently that wasn't how it was working out. You're supposed to do 2 colored stripe, 2 rows per stripe. So then after I realized that, I fixed it, but I didn't pull out. I left it the way it was, and I love it. So now I'm coming up to the reds and the purples. This is meant to be gold, but I didn't have gold, so I used saffron. Most of the colors I had in my stash, and then a couple I had to buy. But it's lovely, and it's the V-stitch. So you are going in, you're doing 2 double crochets, but you're going into each center of each of the stitches to form a V. Isn't that pretty? It's so warm, and I'm loving it right now, because when I was sitting working on it this last week, it's been so bloody cold here. It was like, well, we had freezing rain for 2 days in a row, so I couldn't even go outside without falling ass over tea kettle. So naturally I stayed in, and I crocheted. So I had it on my lap, and it was just lovely, keeping me warm and knitting away on it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. These colors look a bit garish against one another, but I think eventually it will fade in and look okay as we, head from the blues to the greens and then into the purpley reds, and I think we end with blue again. There is like a sequence that you follow, so you know what colors to use next. But it's a really nice pattern. I know Davina's doing it from Little Workroom Crafts, and but she's doing hers in actually just the stripes, so it'll be interesting to see how hers is working up to how mine is working up, because mine is the fade. So yeah, so I have loved working on my Gideon method. It's helped me tremendously. It doesn't help when you add a couple of new starts in, which I'm always going to be doing, but it helps get the whips down. And one of the things I did find, originally I was just using the timer on my watch, phone, because it's always by me when I'm sitting knitting anyway. And I would turn it on, and then it would run. And then when I would stop knitting for the night or whatever I was doing, I would hit the stop, and then I would just write Tuesday 3 hours, Wednesday hour and a half, whatever it was, and add it up in the end. Then last night I came up with this brilliant plan, because you actually can have a timer. So I was using the stopwatch, that's right. You can actually have a timer. So I set my timer for 12. And now when I start my socks tonight, because I'll be back to number 1 in the rotation, I'll just hit, and it'll count down the 12 hours for me. And then if I have to get up to make a cup of tea or stop for the night, or the phone calls and Sean is calling me or something, or Andrew or Bob or whomever, then I can just hit pause and it'll just remember, and I don't have to write down where I am, what day I did what, and count at the end. So I think that's a bit easier. Now what I did do is, because I had finished one item out of my 6, I needed to replace it with something. And one of the items I didn't do last month because I, on a whim, replaced it with the chicken. So I made a new one for February. So I'll be back to my socks, and I'm pretty sure I'll get them finished in those 12 hours that I have. The chicken will go back next because I have to make 3 of them before Easter or more. So the chicken is now in place of the doll. I was going to do Dorothy Mouse, but she can just wait because that's for me. These are for the kids for Easter. My favorite blanket, still number 3, and I will, in those 12 hours, if I do this, the colors of the stripe, then I'll just add in, I'll do the mitered square blank cushion. I'll just continue on with them. So I kind of clump them 2 together. Then the Pemberton pullover, which I'm hoping I can finish the front in the next rotation. And then I'll go back to the Geo Gradient. I was talking to Linda of Disley Sisters. Linda, oh Linda, I love. And she finished her Geo Gradient last year, and she crocheted the border instead of doing clue 4, which was all these little kind of shelly things. But there were so many stitches going to be on the needle, and that has put me off continuing with the shawl. So she suggested I do a crochet border, and I thought that was a great idea. So thank you for that. So I'm going to go back to my Geo Gradient. And then, of course, there'll be the Starlight blanket. So these are my 6 whips that I'll be working on for 12 hours, hopefully for the month of February. So I'm really happy about that. Of course, it's not going to include any new stuff because there will be one new thing and one obsession. Oh, you want to know what the obsession is? Have you not guessed yet? The mitered square. Yes. So during Vlogmas, I was watching Kay Litton of Crazy Sock Lady. Love her podcasts. Love all her socks. And I cannot believe how quickly that woman can make a pair of socks. I can't. Like, I think I'm good just getting a pair done in 2 weeks if I did nothing else. But of course I do a million other things, so that's why my socks take a bit longer. But oh my goodness, this she is a machine. And she does a lot of 9-inch circulars. And I'm still not 100% in the 9-inch circular camp. Typically, I do magic loop, but I have been straying to DPNs because some of the cables, and I've got to fix them all. And I've had lots of great comments on how to fix the cables. A lot of my cables are twisting and they're getting on my nerves. So I switched to DPNs, but I found I was going faster with the DPN. So then I thought, well, the 9-inch circular will be even quicker, right? That makes more sense. So I did buy some 9-inch circulars. Chow goes, so they were good ones. I just can't quite get my hands in. Anyway, I was at a retreat on Saturday, a knitting retreat, and one of the ladies there said, why don't you just try 15 minutes a day on something plain and simple, a plain sock. Just spend 15 minutes a day with your little 9-inch circulars till you get used to it, because it's a different way of holding it than it is the magic loop, than it is the DPNs. It took me a while to get used to DPNs after I'd used magic loop, so it's bound to just take me some time to get used to the 9-inch circular, right? Now, I did notice that Kay had mentioned that she had, when she does knit on her 9-inch circulars, she often goes up to a 2.5. She knits a bit higher than she does her DPNs. So I thought, maybe I should try that. So I just ordered and got in some zings. I love Knitter's Pride zings. 9-inch in a 2.5. So I'm going to try that and see if that's any better. I was going to try to get the Addy ones where the needle is longer on one side than the other, but they're too expensive. And it's, I already have one set. Like, I don't, you know, like, so anyway, I'm going to try these and see if they work. But talking about new needles, yes, I will get to the mitered square in a minute. I know I've gone off topic. Squirrel! I also ordered at the same time some new DPNs. Oh my goodness. Are they not the nicest looking DPNs you have seen? I'm so jealous when Kay knits with oh no, I can't think of the name of them. Signature needles. They don't make them anymore. And I like the zings because I like the different colors to tell me which one I'm working with, if you know what I mean, which size, so I know. But I just thought that they looked beautiful. So I am going to try these. And I got these off an Etsy shop in Canada. She's in Montreal. I'll leave a link below to her. I ordered these and within 2 days I had them. And they were not terribly expensive. They were brilliant. And I mean, I've never seen these in any other local shop around. So, goes to show. Anyway, mitered square. So I am using DPNs for my mitered square, 2.75 with stoppers on the end. It's really hard for me to bend down. Toby's behind me. So I'm just using these, which are my zings, 2.75. And I just have a stopper on the end of the DPN to stop it coming off. And it's working out really good. One of the things I did have to do though, so the other two mitered squares blankets that I had started, I did them in a strip. And I just went along as wide as I thought it would need, and then I was going to build up. And I don't know if that's what got me bored to tears or not. But, and all my little diagonals were all going in the same direction, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. Like this will be the same type of thing. So they're all going to go in this direction. So when I use this, I'll pick up here, and then the stripe will go, the diagonal will go that way. Same thing there, diagonal will go that way. So these are just all going to be in a row. But it's a smaller row because it's a cushion. So Kay Litton, Crazy Sock Lady, she does her mitered square blankets and starts in the center and works out. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And she kind of makes little patterns with her diagonals. So I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. So this is my, which way did it go? I think it goes that way. Let me see. Yes, it goes that way. And this is all the yarn I have dyed up last year. Because each month last year, I dyed a sock yarn to make a pair of socks. And I do 3 or 4 of them and then put the rest in the shop. But it was basically for me to learn how to do different dye techniques and methods and to make myself a pair of socks every single month. So this was January's, which was carnation, and I did them after the birth flower. These two here were February's, which was violet. This was March, which was daffodil, as if you can guess that one. This was Gerber daisy, because the daisy is the birth flower for April. These two were a set. I dyed this up and made myself a really nice shawl and a pair of socks, actually. And a pair of socks I did. This was the heel and the toe, and then this was the rest of the sock. But I also made a really nice shawl out of this one as well. So that was just one I done. Then this was April's, which was Lily of the Valley. Then I did this too, which were Ontario Spring. This was Ontario Spring. And then I just dyed up a pale blue to go with it. And I made a sweater, crochet sweater for Sunny. And then this is June's, which is roses. Do you see all the lovely little flecks of green in it too for the leaves? So I am loving doing this, and a bit obsessed right now with it. But I did have to make myself a schematic because I couldn't figure out how they were going to go, which way. Because at one point I had put in this one and then I added this one because I wanted these two colors to go together. Then when I went to add this one, it was going to be the wrong way. It was going to come up this way. If I'd picked up here and picked up here, and I didn't want it, I wanted it to go that way to form the little V's. So I thought, how am I going to do that? So I ended up picking up here, casting on here, picking up here. No, how did I do it? No, there was some way I did it, and I had to join these two together as I went. It was crazy. It doesn't look that bad. Who looks at the back of your work anyway? So then I realized I needed some kind of schematic. So I drew this one up, and as I do it, I cross out. And I figured out the way to do it was to not put the corner ones in first, to add your sides and then the corner. So I will not put this one in next. I will put this one in next. No, I will put this one in next, but then I won't do the one following underneath it. I'll come to there and I'll do that one next. I just don't put the corner ones in till after I've done the sides. Or like in this case, you can see here from my schematic, where am I? I'll do 11 next. And then I won't do, this isn't going to be my 12. I'll come over here and make that 12. Then I'll come and do that one. Then I'll go back and do 14, but I won't do this one till I've done 15 over here. So that's the only way I can keep track of what I'm doing and how it's working. But I'm loving this, and I'm loving, it's so much fun for me to see all, I have to take a picture of that. To see all my colors that I've dyed and remember what I use them for. So I'm slightly obsessed. So I feel with my mitered square, it's not going to be part of the rotation. I'm just going to try and knit a square a day. I'm also going to have a live at the end of every month. The last Friday, I think it is, of the month will be on Mitered Square Knit Along. So grab your mitered squares, join in, we'll sit, chat, and we'll do it live. And I do want to start doing a giveaway, but I wasn't sure how to do it. I tried to look at, I was going to pick a winner from last week's live, but it won't let me use the live comments. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. It would let me use the comments for the people that watched on the replay, but I really wanted to get it while everybody was there. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. And then what I wanted to do is give away a 10-gram mini of my hand-dyed yarn so that you can put it in your blanket. So I'll figure out how to do it, and we'll try and do that for the next one. I know Linda does it on hers. She like puts a mark in, and then people comment, and then she does a drawer. So I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, so the other thing that I want to do as a new cast on, and again, it's to do with one of Linda's, she's Disley Sisters on Facebook and YouTube and all that. And her and June, her sister, are doing a knit along for a scarf, a shawl, knit along. So I want to do that shawl that I made for myself called the Do Not Disturb shawl. Here's a picture. I want to do that for Tristan, my grandson, who keeps trying to steal mine. And he wanted green. So I dyed up some yarn for him in green. He likes pale green. I added a couple of darker green sort of flecks in it and some olive colors in it. So I'm going to wind that up and get this started on February 1st. She's going to do a live February 1st. I think that's Thursday. So I'm going to get all ready, do my live, and cast on my Do Not Disturb shawl for that. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Oh no, cross stitch. Let me tell you about my cross stitch. So as you know, I have been working on this one for ages. It's for Tristan. It's so funny because I made one, I started this for Tristan and I started one for Leo at the same time. I finished Leo's and he's got it framed and hanging up in his house in Nova Scotia. And he's 2, and Tristan, poor kid, still hasn't got his, lives in the next town over to me, and he's nearly 4. So I have to get working on this one. So this is the one for Tristan, and I had actually done all the cross stitch and was just on the back stitch, which is my favorite part. So I have no idea why I'm delaying this. So on the second Friday of the month, I do a stitch along live, and I'm cross stitching. So I had started, I think, working on this. I think I had outlined the lion, but not done his face or whiskers and ears and stuff. And I started this. So after that live, during the week sometime, I have managed to finish this, finish the monkey, get the elephant done. These little tufts of hair at the top there. Oh, I love that. And start on the tiger. I couldn't think what it was for a minute. And then I'll have the giraffe and the toucan. And this has got green things that they're swinging on. So, and then I can put in all his date of birth and it'll look good. But I just absolutely love it. So of course, I had to get one for Evie. And it actually just arrived today. Evie is 18 months. That's Tristan's sister, Evelyn. And my friend Diana, hello love, was telling me about, this is a company that are British, Bothy Threads. And she had said to me, oh, I've seen one like that with different animals. I was like, really? So anyway, I went on to Bothy website and yes, look, this one is all woodland animals. So I just love this hedgehog. Look at the wrap. Oh, I love them all. So I'm going to do that one for Ev. But of course, first of all, I have to finish Tristan's. And I do have another one that I need to work on and finish for this year. Because we had some sad news this last week. My son's dog had to be put down. They're in Nova Scotia. So it was very hard to hear Sean crying on the phone to me. He was at the vet and wasn't sure what to do. And I was like, well, she'd had a seizure. She has seizures and she's on medication for them. She's had them for a couple of years now. She's only 5, not quite 5 actually. And anyway, she had a really big one and it lasted for 45 minutes at the vet's. She'd had one at home when they took her to the vet, and then she had this big one. And the vet basically said, if she does come out, she may have brain damage. She may, you know, it was so, anyway, he called me and I said, Sean, just let her go, hon. You know, not much you can do. But I had started for him, I'll just grab it. I had started this one for him. And this is, he has 2 dogs. He has a Brittany Springer Spaniel named Ellie, or Aya, as Leo says. And this looks identical to Ellie. Like, you would think this was Ellie. And this one, I want to change her colors because Luna was a coonhound and she has the same colors, had the same colors as Toby. Christ, I get them all mixed up all the time. When they're all here, they get called every single name until I get there. So I'm going to change these colors somehow. It is a kit, but I have my own stash of, you know, DMC thread. So I'm going to change her colors so it looks like Luna, and try and get this finished. I haven't really got very far on it. That's all as far as I got. This, which is kind of nice. It's all single, like one way. There's not, what's that, half a cross stitch? It's not, this is where the cross stitch starts. This is all. So I'd not really got very far. I actually started this. Oh, I keep meaning to make some of these for you guys. I started this, well, I don't know, where here, August the 29th, 2022. And every time I picked it up and made it or worked on it, I would just put a little circle, ring the circle. And then you can see that I stopped cross stitching altogether in January of 2023, and I've not picked it up until now, January 2024. Whole year I hadn't cross stitched. So I need to make more of my cards, and I need to pick this up. So I have to get this finished. I would like to get this as a Christmas gift to Sean. So I need to get this finished for him for Christmas. And it won't be as raw, I don't think, because I know he'll cry when I give it to him. And of course I need to finish Sean's, Leo's, before I start Evie's. So got my work cut out there for me for the cross stitch. Okay, so that's about all I've got to show you, other than a shop update. Now, I did tell you I went to a retreat on the weekend, and my friend Brenda runs this retreat. It's fabulous fun. It's just a one-day thing from like 9 till 4. We sit around, we gab, there's food, there's treats, there's raffles, there's all kinds of, it's really nice. It's just so nice to sit and catch up with people that you maybe haven't seen for a year. And I sat at a table with a bunch of ladies that I used to work with. We all worked together. So it was so nice because I haven't seen them for ages. So it was lovely to just sit and chat with these ladies. Anyway, I have just got a new sock pattern ready to go out, which is this one. It will launch February the 1st and is called Honey, It's Cold Out, because it has these lovely little honeycombs that go down the front. Very easy to do. It's a lovely, once you're knitting it and you get into the rhythm, it's just very easy to follow. And of course the back is plain, so you're only worrying about your front needle or your front 2 needles if you're using DPNs. And I did write the pattern for DPN and Magic Loop. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. And then down the front it's plain, other than the one honeycomb coming all the way down. It's got a rounded toe, heel flap and turn, and a rounded heel. So I gave all the ladies that were at the retreat that wanted one a free pattern while I was there. And this will then go up for sale on Ravelry and Etsy. But I did, to make it more special for them, I dyed this is turquoise. And I do have one of those left, because when I dye, if I dip dye, I do 2 at the same time. So there is one of these turquoise left. But I also dyed this one up, which was special for the retreat ladies. They got to see it first and pick it first if they wanted. And I think I took about a half a dozen with me. And I have 2 left. So these are going in the shop today. They are... they do have stellina in them. I don't know if you can see the sparkle there. And these are called frosted, because my honeycombs, although they're not really honeycombs as in honeycombs, it's more the... when it snowed here, and believe me, it snows a lot here in the winter, and freeze rains and does all kinds of stormy things, you get the most divine patterns on your windows. And this reminds me of the frosted patterns on the windows, the frosted like honeycombs and stuff. So I wanted the yarn to reflect the snow, the sparkle, the cold of that. So that was why I dyed that color for the retreat, and the socks, they got a free one. So yeah, so that goes in the shop. It's going to be in Ravelry and Etsy as of February the 1st. And then the yarn will go into the shop as well on February the 1st. And the shop, of course, is Etsy. So that's all I've got for you. That was a lot. We've gone on and on and on today, haven't we? In actual fact, I've started this twice. And I've either been completely absorbed with something that's happening outside, or the dogs barked, or the courier guy came and interrupted, and he took forever to get the thing out. And I'm thinking, what did I order from Amazon? Because there was like, you could see it was full of Amazon stuff. And I was like, what did I order? And yeah, actually I ordered it from amazon.co.uk, believe it or not. And Bob got a bag to go on the back of his, on the rack on the back of his electric bike for when we go tooling around in the summer this year. Anyway, I'm going to go. It's been a while. So I hope you will join me, not this Friday, but Friday after, for my Stitching with Me live. And I'll see, if not, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And yeah, okay, bye.